Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning, sunshine. Happy Friday, TGIF. Can you believe this is the last Friday of November and that there are only 4 more Fridays after this, I think, until the year is over? I just, and every year I say it that these years just like fly on by, but it really, really, truly does feel this way. Like, genre, I'm having a hard time accepting how quickly this year has gone by, truly. Anyway, so most of you guys who watch my channel are American, right? So I know a lot of you guys were spending your time yesterday enjoying your Thanksgiving feast. Did you guys get today off so that it's like a long weekend? Like, so you guys could also digest everything that you ate yesterday? Are you still in pain? When I tell you, when I celebrated my Thanksgiving, I was in pain for like the night of and the night after. My stomach just felt so huge, like I ate rocks or something. Like I ate so much. It was such a good time, and I'm just imagining that for all of you guys, just like I can't move. So I really do hope that they let y'all have the day off so you could really rest and recuperate from those amazing meals that you guys were telling me about whipping up yesterday. By the way, shout out to Jen for becoming a channel member. And, I did also drop a new video yesterday for my channel members. If you guys want those exclusive videos, definitely feel free to sign up for channel membership. But we're doing a book club right now where we're reading the Teen Mom Confidential book written by the Ashley's Reality Roundup. And the part that we got to yesterday was so gut-wrenching. It was the open letter that Sophia's paternal grandmother, wrote to Sophia. And in it, she talks about, Derek, what he was like as a kid, as a teenager and everything, and then Farrah as well. It started off kind of nice and complimentary. And then by the end of it, she was dragging Farrah. She was dragging Farrah's mom, Deborah, it was, wow, there was a lot going on, you guys. So yeah, feel free to join if you want to check out those kinds of exclusive videos. Anyway, I'm so glad that y'all are here. We've got Tadisha in the house. Good morning, Boo. Good morning, Gahara, Ray Bay, Reese, Quay, Ratchet Charm. Good morning, K Minor. Good morning, Princess. Caitlin as well. Good morning, Kelly, Melissa, Crystal as well. And Crystal's got an update on the story that we were talking about yesterday about the National Guards who were shot just the day before Thanksgiving. So on Wednesday, November 26th, unfortunately, one of them has died. She was only 20 years old. I hope that the guy who did this is brought to justice, because there was really, truly no reason for that. That is just so disgusting what he did. And she really, I'm so devastated for her family, for her friends, everybody. Like, for what? Why go and do something like that? I'm so sick of the senseless violence, especially gun violence, plaguing the world. Thanks so much for the update, by the way, Crystal. May she rest in peace. Tadisha says, I'm in education. I've had 3 days off, returning to work on Monday. Ooh, Lord. So you've had the 3 days off, then you're getting the other 2 days off, almost a full week off, Tadisha. Yes, I love that for you. I love when people get spoiled with like holiday days off. Like, please. Hey, Ona, nice to see you, Boo. Good morning. And wow, happy birthday to your bestie, Tamara. So 40 years, listen. And you're throwing her a surprise party. Aren't you a great friend? What a dream. Listen, I think about my bestie and how I hope we get 40 years plus together too. So this is just so nice to hear about these long-term friendships. Good morning, Ronnie. Trust, 2 snaps. Good morning. Good morning, Acacia as well. So nice to see y'all here. We've got quite a bit to discuss in today's episode of the Morning Report. I do have to admit, I was nervous. I was like, listen, everybody was just at home, minding their own business, eating, enjoying their families and whatnot yesterday. Like, there's not going to be much to discuss today, or is there? Well, come to find out, there was a new episode of that Kardashian show over on Hulu that aired. And in the episode, Kim Kardashian is talking about how she is at her wits' end when it comes to her co parenting relationship with Kanye West, to the surprise of quite literally nobody. So, this was a conversation that she had with her. Do we call this a brother-in-law or not? I know that some people like to call him her brother-in-law, but like Scott and Courtney never married. So to me, it's just, I don't know, like her brother or something. I don't know. How do you guys consider it? I don't know. So anyway, with Scott Disick, she was talking, confiding in him about what it is that she's going through. Scott was being very, very reassuring to her. This picture is so messy. Why did I put it up? I'm being messy. Grace, change that picture. But listen, you look at that picture and you go, you know what, girl, you are telling the truth. I know it must be a nightmare dealing with that type of person, right? So Scott was telling her that he totally understands. Like, he looks at the stuff, the news and everything that comes out about Kanye, and he doesn't understand how Kim is able to handle co-parenting with him, right? And so to which Kim says that it is really, really frustrating, especially when Kanye calls her motherhood into questioning. And quote, sometimes I just feel like snapping, but I can't. I just can't. By the way, he never once called. I mean, I always encourage a relationship, but a healthy one. Yeah, there you go. Apparently, Kanye is really, really uninvolved as far as the kids are concerned, but this is stuff we already knew. I do wonder what the ratings are like for their show because, I know that they're still relatively popular and whatnot. However, a lot of the stuff that they put out on that show are things that have already played out in the public eye. So when she talks about how frustrating it is to deal with Kanye West and this and that, I'm thinking about her Call Her Daddy interview. She said all of this already in that interview. And I think it came out a couple of weeks ago, right? So sometimes it does feel like a case of deja vu. And so I do think that that contributes to the dwindling ratings that they've got over there on their Hulu show, right? And so she says that whenever Kanye is very loud and out there, I just can't really engage. And it's just best for the better, right? So her only focus and job is to be strong for her kids, North, Chicago, Saint, and Psalm. Well, listen, Kim, I feel for you. I cannot imagine being tied to Kanye West for life. He sounds like a complete and utter nightmare. And he has done a lot to try to taint her public image and whatnot. And that's got to be really, really hurtful, right? And when she was trying to date Pete Davidson, we had Kanye West coming through, threatening him and whatnot. And I think that that probably made a lot of other guys who could have potentially, seen her or themselves as suitors take a step back because they don't want that kind of drama in their own lives, right? Really, really sad. Ooh, Melissa, thanks for joining the channel membership. I hope you enjoy all of the exciting, juicy videos I've been putting out over there, and you get to join our book club with us. Good morning to you too, Carly and Theo. So nice to see y'all. It was not it. Listen, I was searching through my computer because I don't like always downloading new pictures because there's just so much stuff on my computer. So I just went and searched Kanye West and this came up. What do you want me to do? This came up. I had to, I can't believe it. And the fact that he's still not even really canceled like that is crazy. Like, he's having a hard time booking stadiums and whatnot, but when he is able to book them, they are selling out, which is so crazy to me because women have done far less than this and gotten canceled way more. You know what I mean? And so it's just, hate to see it. Really, really do. Good morning, Amanda. Happy Friday. And Winnie, you know what? I do think that that's a fair point, that there are a lot of people outside of Kanye West who are questioning the way that Kim is raising her children, right? And it's not even to do with the comments that Kanye West have made, but to do with the things that she's got North doing to herself right now, right? So we see Northwest walking around with like corsets and stuff. We see her going and getting like these piercings, like subdermal finger piercings, and just a lot of things that seem quite inappropriate for her age. So it is true that outside of Kanye West, she herself has made some very interesting or, somewhat questionable decisions when it comes to those kids, particularly Northwest, and even when she was dating Pete Davidson. And listen, I say dating very lightly because I do think that this was a PR stunt on both their parts. Maybe like 30 days or less into dating, there were like these videos circulating of Pete hanging around with like North, like driving a golf cart with North on his lap and stuff. Then he got like her and the rest of the kids' names tattooed and whatnot. Lots of really, really strange things going on, right? So yeah, I think you raised a really good point, Winnie. Good morning, Latasha. Nice to see you. Keeping away from the Kardashians, says Two Snaps. And it really feels like that's a thing. But you know what? Life, everything is so cyclical. There's a start, there's a beginning, there's an end. When things go up, sometimes they do also have to go down. And I do think that this is that era for them. But they've had such a good run, especially with the fact that they don't really have a discernible talent. For them to have made it this far and to be among the richest celebrities out there with the most businesses and stuff, they truly, truly crushed it, and they should be proud of themselves. I'm quite surprised that they're still kind of carrying on with that show. I think there are so many other interesting things that they could be doing, right? And yes, I love to hear it, Melissa. Enjoy. Hey, Jamie, I keep falling asleep. Oh, well, it's okay, Bill. Listen, I feel like I've been chatting with you all week. I didn't know you've been missing out. And we were chatting just yesterday, too. No worries, girl. I'll catch you in the playback, okay? Tadisha says, I can't imagine having to be a child of celebrity parents. It just seems like so much pressure. And I do agree. A child of celebrity parents that have you overexposed, because celebrities can very well hide their kids from us, right? For example, Gwyneth Paltrow, Chris Martin's daughter, what's her name? Apple, banana, orange. We didn't really know or see much of her, right? Until now with this debutante and all that stuff. I know people made fun of the name, but we never really knew or saw much of her the way that we're seeing Northwest be overexposed, right? And similar to the other children, for example, Halle Berry's children, you really very, very, very rarely see those kids, et cetera, et cetera. Look at Beyonce's son, Sir, they're he is very rarely spotted. There may be 2 photos of him out there because they want to protect his privacy particularly and whatnot. And so I do think that celebrities are capable of protecting their kids and shielding them from all of the pressure and, the public eye and whatnot. And some just choose not to, unfortunately. So I do feel bad for the kids whose parents choose not to shield them from it. As Zach says, I truly feel bad for Kim. I can't even imagine what it's like to have children with someone like Kanye. It sounds like a complete and utter nightmare. And the fact that he'll insult her and her decisions whilst, not showing up at all for these kids and whatnot, living on the other side, rolling around the world as if he's a child-free man. That's just so mean and disgusting. And she's the one who's having to pick up the pieces, have those conversations with her kids, field those questions about where their deadbeat daddy is. That's really, really harsh, right? Absolutely harsh. And they've got really rich parents, really influential parents and whatnot, but the parents with their own particular issues as well. It's either invasive, embarrassing, or both. Exactly. Right? I feel for them. I really, really do. And this is another good point, Latasha. We don't know what Kerry Washington's kids even look like. We don't know their names. So many celebrities know how to protect their children, right? It just comes down to whether or not they want to. And so obviously in the case of Kim and Kanye, they do not want to. They want to monetize these children. And that's what they've done. And so it's sad. It is what it is at the end of the day, but it is sad. Jamie says we can call Appletini. We can call her Fruit Salad. I'm telling you, what a random name. You know what? God bless her. I can't imagine having to walk up to people and introduce myself as Apple. Chacun son combat, comme on dit en français. Everybody has their battle, like we say in French. Now, you guys, let's get into somebody who's, facing her own battle. And her battle is the urge to be a baby mama to everybody. This is Kale Jr. Kayla Cesler from Young and Pregnant. She is going to the Kale Lowry School of Family Planning. Y'all remember how I put out that Kale Lowry family tree yesterday? If Kale keeps at it, if Kale Jr. keeps at it, I'm going to have to do a Kayla Cesler family tree real soon. Because she just announced on Instagram that she has officially welcomed her latest baby. Oh, merde. I have a picture. Here it is. Hang on. So I got a picture of her baby announcement. She has another son. I think her first son's name is Isaiah. Then she had a daughter named Aria. Hang on. Let me pull up this family photo because, she was doing a bunch of these family photos on her Instagram and whatnot in anticipation of the arrival of their newest baby. All right. So here they are at the beach with all of the children. What was her man's name again? Was it Zach? Ryan. Her man's name is Ryan. So there she is. She's got Araya. She's got Isaiah. And I do not know who this is. Is that his own kid or something? Now all of a sudden, now there is a new baby to the brood. So now they are parents of 5 children in this blended family. The newest addition's name is, drum roll please, Zane Kaylin Lee. You know, I feel like a broken record when it comes to this, but I really truly hate when girls go and give their kids the last name of their baby daddies, boyfriends, whatever. I do not understand the concept. You should always share a last name with your kid. And if you're not married to the baby daddy, go ahead and hyphenate that name. But do not walk out of that house, that hospital with your kid having a different last name than you. I find that to be absolutely ludicrous, insane, like truly. But I digress. So she posted this beautiful photo of him. He looks absolutely adorable. And I'm name Zane Kaylin Lee, born October 7th, 2025 at 12:44 a.m., weighing in at 6 pounds, 11 ounces, and measuring 19.5 inches. Again, he's a really cute, beautiful baby, but I just do not understand this lifestyle that she's currently living. So, she's got all these different fathers for all of these different kids and whatnot. So is it similar to the Kale situation where all these kids have all these different last names? I have to give Kale credit because she did spartan up and just start giving these kids her own last names at the end, because she realized none of these relationships are working out. Why the heck would I go carry around these kids, birth them and everything just to have a different last name? I'm not doing that anymore, right? So once she got to once she got to Lux, she said, okay, I'm going to start giving these kids my name. Well, actually, first, Lux's original last name was Lopez. And then she got into a fight with Chris Lopez. And she said, actually, we're changing it to Lowry. And then when Creed was born, she gave him the Lopez last name. Like the 2 biological brothers. You finally have 2 full brothers in your brood. And you decide to give them 2 different last names. That's absolutely insane, right? So she was on and off again with Chris again. And so she decided to give Creed Chris's last name, but then they were off again or whatever. And so she tried to do the same thing. You know what? You don't want to be with me? I'm not going to give my kid your last name anymore. So she tried to take it back to the judge, and the judge said, you know what? I'm sick of you and your games. We're hyphenating this one. So now the first time she ever has 2 full brothers, they have 2 different last names. And so she finally learned her lesson with Elijah. And Elijah is a lot more passive than all of her other baby daddies. And so he was totally fine with it, which is good. He should be fine with it. And so together they have Rio Verson Valley Lowry together. Right. So this is what I worry Kayla's family tree is going to look like, right? All these assorted kids, assorted fathers, assorted last names and whatnot. It is an awful lot to keep up with. And it's just overall quite dysfunctional, to be quite honest with you guys, right? In yesterday's episode of the show, we spoke about how Kale opened up on her podcast about how she regrets having kids with all these, random men that she was dating and whatnot. And so I hope that Kayla takes heed and starts to move forward in a different direction with her life, because, it's just, again, that's all this contraception out here in this day and age. It's quite the choice to be doing this sort of thing, but I digress. Anyway, this is officially her 4th child. Her boyfriend, I believe, came to the relationship with his own child as well. And so now together they make themselves a blended family. Winnie the Cat says, oh God, not again. Yup, here she is. Kayla says that number 4 is her last. Okay, well, we'll see how long that lasts. I don't believe her. I got to be honest with you. I think that she's going to go toe for toe with Kale. She might go somewhere between 6 and 8, maybe even 10. I wouldn't be surprised. Keisha says Kayla and Kale are the same. I always thought that. They truly are. They are 2 peas in a freaking pod. You know what? Speaking of pod, Kale needs to get her on the podcast so that they could both get into the psychology of one another, right? Kale would joke on her podcast about how she needs to get Nick Cannon on so she could talk to him about why he's knocking everybody up. Why don't you get your twin on that podcast so you could both talk about, what's causing you guys to be out here popping out babies for all these random men? Let's get into that, right? She's on Teen Mom just like you. You guys are similar age range and stuff. Let's talk about that. Why don't we do that, right? And Terry, I really do. Does she have a job? What does she do for work? How is she even supporting all of these kids? You know, the show has been off the air for quite a while. I don't know of her to be having some sort of higher education or anything like that. To be honest, I don't even remember her having a job. Remember, I was not a hardcore watcher of Young and Pregnant or even Teen Mom 3. So I don't remember this lady really having a job or anything like that. So how is she supporting all of these children? It seems like a lot. When I was watching her season of the show, correct me if I'm wrong, but she was living with her mother. So is this another child to bring home to live with your mother's house with you? Because that's crazy. Her mom has a lot of patience to be allowing her to live in her house while popping out multiple children. Tanisha says, PSA, you don't have to give every man a baby you're in a relationship with. Exactly. Please scream it from the rooftop. And especially stop giving these babies your random boyfriend's last names. You should always share the last name with your kid, whether it's your own last name or it's a hyphenated last name. Please, 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 for the love of God. Tamara says, I have 3 kids and that's enough for me, right? It sounds like a nice, comfortable number. And listen, 4 could be good too. It's just by all these random people, like, it's just, I don't get it. If there is a number 5, then we will know. Exactly. Let's wait and see. It's still too early, right? It's still too early, but I would not be surprised if she were to go ahead and pop out another few. I really don't think she's going to stop at just 4. Just saying. Have I been filling you guys in on my spin classes? I think that's about to be my new personality. I was sending these messages to everybody. I was like sending messages to my sister, to my friends, like, guys, like I'm gonna have spin become my new personality. As a joke, obviously, but I love it so much. I've been dying for something like cardio in my routine, and I feel like this is the perfect compromise. And I think I told you guys I bought a jump rope, but I haven't been able to use it quite yet. I think that that's something I'm going to be able to use over the weekend when I go to the gym, or maybe when I'm like, go doing some outside stuff. So yeah, honestly, I'm really happy because I feel like weightlifting alone isn't gonna, do what I need my routine to do. So I'm ready to diversify, baby. Speaking of diversify, let's get into the sister wives. A man by the name of Garrick Merrifield decided that he wanted to diversify his marriage a little bit by adding in a second wife, and a second wife from Brazil, no less. This family is currently being profiled on TLC's Seeking Sister Wife. Is this a show that you guys watch? Because I got to be honest with you, like polygamy, all that stuff is just, it's not really my vibe. However, if this was a show that y'all really like to keep up with and whatnot, let me know and I'll see if I could try to give it a look. It's just, I don't know. There's just something about it that gives me that gives me the creeps and just enrages me. I think it's like the sexism behind it all, but I digress. I don't know. So anyway, as you guys are aware, he got arrested this past Monday for domestic violence against his wife, Lorana. And there have been a few more details leaked right now to TMZ. So according to the arrest warrant affidavit, Garrick's wife, Lorana, the Brazilian woman, told the police that he took her phone during a heated argument that they had. She wanted to talk to her family in Brazil. He did not want for her to be in contact with them. So he decided to take her phone from her. So that's where all of this kind of started. And then, of course, it only escalated from there. And so from there, she is claiming that she told him that she wanted to call the police. And that really, truly pissed him off. And he threatened to call the ICE on her if she were to call the police on him. However, Lorana is in the U.S. legally. They filled out a visa for her to be living in the U.S. I believe it would be a spousal visa, right? Because she is the one who is legally married to Garrick. Garrick's official wife agreed to divorce him for him to be able to legally take on and marry Lorana, right? And I don't believe that Lorana would have been able to live in the U.S. if it wasn't for being married to Garrick and whatnot. And so things continued only to devolve from there. So Lorana obviously was very, very scared when Garrick was threatening to call ICE on her because she doesn't know all the laws and whatnot. And I believe, although she speaks English, it's just, I don't know, like speaking English to get by and whatnot, and speaking English to get through legal situations are two completely different things, right? You need a certain level. And so she was very much intimidated by all of that. And so When he threatened her with ICE, she went on the internet to see how she could contact the police, because remember, he had taken her phone from her, right? And so Garrick allegedly was really upset by this, and so he decided to cut off the Wi-Fi to the house. So to me, this is like a certain level of entrapment, right? It's very, very creepy, very, very abusive. And again, like I don't know how I feel about these kinds of dynamics and whatnot, rooted in sexism and stuff, and exploitation being platformed. Because I'm not surprised that this is what this man is like, right? I feel like you have to be a certain type of man to even want one of these kinds of marriages and relationships and stuff. And so I'm not surprised. I'm really not, is all I can say. So, but mind you, she's still freshly postpartum. She just had a baby back in July and whatnot. Thankfully, the police did show up. Garrick was indeed arrested, and he was charged. What was he charged with? With DV. Incestually, and there was something else, some kind of like obstruction or something like that, trying to interfere with her ability to call for help, also earned him a charge as well. So listen, good riddance. I really hope that they throw the book at him and he stays behind bars for quite a while, because he is so dangerous, he is so predatory, and he is just so icky, and what he did to this woman is absolutely wrong. She recently just had a baby. You're cutting off all her communication to the outside world, whether it's in the form of taking her phone from her or cutting off the internet and whatnot. That's disgusting. And by the way, where was the other wife while all of this was going down? I do not understand it at all. Anyway, let me get into you guys' comments so I can see what exactly it is that y'all are saying about this. Oh God, y'all really do get into this show, don't you? Ratchet Charm says yes to this show. Reese says this show is craziness. Princess says nope, doesn't watch that show. Reese also says that he is such a weirdo. Ronnie says it's creepy, and edgy woman who would do that to themselves is crazy, or any woman who would do exactly. I don't get it. Like, girls, please. I wonder if she did this to get out of Brazil, get like, a green card, residency in the US or something, but still, is it really worth it? I personally do not think so. Kelly says, I love it. Exercise personality. I love that. What are your like fun ones that you enjoy doing? For me, it's Pilates, spin, Legree, and lifting. I used to be such a yoga head too, but it's been years. Thank you, Reese. Lorena. What am I pronouncing? It's written really weird. Larrana. To me, that's Lorano or something. Oops, Lorena. Okay, thanks. Tadisha says TLC keeps getting weirder with their choice of shows they present to us. I'm telling you. I was just scrolling through like Instagram Reels actually earlier today, and they were like showing me something about like this new show about this woman who was making a lot of money through like the feederism community. And so she started off, I don't know, like 200 pounds or something like that, right? Something that's still manageable, to now being like 600 pounds because people are paying her to eat and all the, like, it was like, oh my God, what is this? And like, she gets into vulgar description of the things that they wanted her to do while she eats. And I'm like, this is on cable? This is crazy. Absolutely insane. And then the Dr. Pimple Popper stuff too. Like, there's just so much going on with that network. Like, there really is, right? Absolutely messy. Oh, okay, Crystal, listen. So I like that you at least like give it a chance, for people to talk about it. Terry says, I know these shows are supposed to showcase weird, but I'm taking them as a lesson. And they should. I feel like, yes, people should always take pop culture and reality TV as a lesson, because these are real people living real lives, and they could prevent you from, going down similar paths and whatnot, or encourage you if other paths and, things are more uplifting. And she doesn't speak a lot of English. They've been seeking a wife in Brazil for 6 years and have yet to learn Portuguese, but wanted her to learn English immediately. Oh, don't even get me started. I was talking about this with my friend Julie, actually, about how like enraging some, people are. So for example, here, I'm in some of these like groups about like, getting French nationality and whatnot, right? Because the time is coming up for me to prepare my dossier to, ask for naturalization. And so there's quite a few people here, like whether they are American or British, but it's always the Anglophones. And they'll be like, oh, I don't know if I could pass the language test. And then listen, it for a long time, it was only B1, which means you have like a certain level of fluency, but it's not perfect, right? And a lot of these people, they couldn't even pass that after like 10, 15, 20. There was somebody who's been here for 25 years, somebody who's been here 30 years, and they're still sitting there talking about, oh, like, I can't believe they're upping the language thing after 25, 30 years. you should have a perfect level of fluency. I'm sorry. It's absolutely insane and inexcusable, in my opinion, especially because these people are married to French people and they're still not even bothering to, you know what I mean, to work on their language skill. It's insane. I just do not understand it. It drives me nuts. So, I used to love Breaking Amish, by the way, Princess. It was so good. And same, I'm having a hard time with the sister wife stuff, and even like the reverse, where the ladies are seeking multiple husbands. Like it just seems so like, just I don't know. It puts me off. It really does. I'll try to keep an eye out for it because I know that it's really messy and a lot of people really like it, but it's just. The other wife follows her husband blindly. That's why they're in this mess to begin with. Well, I was wondering where she was while all this was happening. She's probably the one unplugging the Wi-Fi. He's taking the phone, giving it to her. Like this poor girl did not know what she got herself into, did she? What a mess. Misha, we haven't seen you in a while, boo. How are you? Hope you're doing well and that you've got some wonderful weekend plans coming up. Grace said it was La Rana. I'm telling you, I don't understand the way that they spelt it. My bad. Listen, and I love Brazil and I love Portuguese, but I've never seen it written like that. It really is, Ronnie. Pure madness. Listen, I'll try to give an episode. You know what I saw going viral on Instagram Reels, by the way? There's the lady, she's Black, and she's talking to her family about how her husband is going to be taking on another wife. And so the family doesn't understand. They're like, she says that she's going to help the husband look for another wife and that all of this is her idea. So they said, oh, really? You decided, you got married to him and you decided you wanted to be his side chick? You're looking for your replacement? That one looks really good. I don't remember what it's called. I have to find it and see if I could watch that because that looks good. Like I want to see some critique about this kind of, situation and lifestyle and whatnot. Ozite says, I never catch the morning report live. So glad to be here. Well, listen, I'm so glad you're here, boo. Thanks for joining us live today. Nice to see you. And bonjour, Ramster. J'espère que tu vas bien. Happy Friday. Oh, Lord. Is that the same one, Seeking Sister Wife or something like that? Like they profile different couples? Because if so, okay, I'll give it a look. Because that was absolutely hilarious, pure comedy. Because I feel like that's how my family would react if I were to, go to them with that type of stuff, Anyway, listen, you guys, I do have to, or do I have to go to a break? No, I don't actually. I don't. Let's get into our final story of the day, shall we? You know how we were talking about Thanksgiving and whatnot and how I was scared that we wouldn't have any Thanksgiving, day after Thanksgiving stories because everybody was at home peacefully enjoying with their families and whatnot. This Ray J story just broke my heart for his estranged wife, Princess. I do not know why that divorce hasn't been finalized yet. Like, they've been going back and forth forever. Why are they even staying under the same roof? Like, literally, what are they doing at this point? Look at her. She is sobbing with her daughter in her hands because Ray J pointed a gun at them. Allegedly. And all of this played out on live stream. And Ray J wound up getting arrested over it, you guys. Like, Ray J has something very seriously wrong with him. He's been off for quite a while. He's off in a similar way that Kanye West is off, right? However, Kanye West has at least done the work to go and get tested and diagnosed. But I'm not sure that that is something that Ray J has done yet. And so as a result of his untreated alleged mental illness, he wound up destroying Thanksgiving for his family and traumatizing his children and his wife. Okay, so he was arrested on a charge of making a criminal threat and his bail was set as $50,000. And he stayed a couple hours there before eventually being bailed out. And so according to the live stream that he posted online, he was ranting about having the worst Thanksgiving in the effing world. He said that somebody was trying to take his kids and that he was being threatened and stuff. And then things got worse when he, on camera, grabs a GU-on off of a table, loads it while saying, if these people step foot close to this door, I'm going to blow this effing ish away, bro. And then he gets off camera. He walks off angrily. And then he comes back and you see him screaming at somebody off screen, telling them to get out of the house. And he's accusing this person of trespassing. And then you see Princess Love walking in while she is holding her daughter, Melody. Such a beautiful name, by the way. And she is crying about the fact that he had just pulled a gun out, right, in front of the kids and everything. And at that point, Ray J accuses her of attempting to drive drunk, and they just go back and forth. And so she just keeps repeating her claim that he pointed that thing at us, her cousin, the kids. And yeah, all of it is just absolutely crazy. She calls him a woman abuser as well. And then you see an unidentified woman and man enter into the room. The man confronts Ray J, and it gets to them just screaming at each other. And then Ray J threatening him on camera, saying, and I quote, "I will shoot the F out of you. I will KILLU. Get out of my house before I shoot you right now. I've got a gun on me." And of course, all of this escalated to where Ray J ultimately justifiably wound up getting arrested on Thanksgiving. The fact that this happened in front of the children, not only with the children in the house, but in front of the children, these arguments, all these things, and then the weapon being pulled out and whatnot. I should hope, or I really truly hope, that that is enough for his custody to be called into question. Princess, please finalize this damn divorce. You guys have been on and off again divorcing for 5 damn years. Ish or get off the pot. It's over. Do not be in the same room as this person. He is dangerous. He is unhinged, and he is traumatizing the children. Absolutely just devastating to watch this play out. Truly, Thanksgiving is supposed to be a holiday of love, sharing, family, all that stuff, right? And to see it devolve into this, especially as far as children are concerned, very, very disturbing and very, very irresponsible as well. Now, let me get into the comments and see what it is that you guys have to say about this particular story. Good morning, BYs. Nice to see you. Reese says, Ray J is on rugs. I don't care. No, allegedly. Listen, I think he's on them. And I also think that he's mentally disturbed as well. And he's untreated. And it just is getting worse and worse the more, other stuff that he engages in. A very kinky girl says, skip Princess. Those kids are traumatized. Exactly. You see these arguments happening. You see like all these allegations and stuff happening as she's holding the baby and whatnot. Like it is so freaking sad. Yeah, Ronnie, I can't. I really, really can't. This is absolutely devastating, and it never should have played out like this. I wonder what it's going to take for him to go and seek help. Like I feel like, what else I feel about him? I feel like he's got a certain level of narcissism, so when you've got these other issues and then you've got narcissism that you were throwing on top of that, like not a great combination, right? And then, maybe you're potentially abusing rugs as well. Like all of this together just does not make for a good situation, especially as far as children are concerned. And I agree. He needs a 5150 hold. And Brandy not even going no contact with him says a lot, because they were so close, like incredibly close for a long time, 2 snaps. I can't stand the Norwood family, especially his big head sister. Wow. Damn, what did Brandy do to you? Damn. I love Brandy. Thanks, Misha. Thanks. Listen, it's so old. I have to take it out soon, actually. My friend's birthday party is next weekend, and I'm already so busy this weekend. I'm going to the countryside tonight, actually, so I don't have time. So I'm gonna have to take it out next Sunday, I think. Yeah. Thank you. Thea says, it is, right? It's absolutely insane to be behaving this way. This is not how you behave, especially with your children are concerned. And that's why I feel like he's a narcissist, because he really cannot care any less. Like, at least from what he shows us, that he doesn't care that the kids are impacted by this. Like, he's just in his own world, and it's scary, So again, like, please, like, get him 5150 something, And yeah, that's what a lot of people have been saying, Terry, that he's got a certain level of guilt over what may or may not have happened between him and Whitney Houston that may or may not have led to her passing. Because there were a lot of people who said he had something to do with it, or that Nick had something to do with it. That guy, that kid that Whitney unofficially adopted. Right? I agree too, snaps. It's wild to me that these famous men do all this dangerous stuff unchecked, but Britney Spears gets herself a bad haircut and she ends up in a conservatorship. Isn't that crazy? Truly. And even when you look at like the Wendy Williams of it all, how did Wendy end up in a conservatorship? You know, like, and look at Ray J, look at Kanye, look at all these people. Princess Tia, what isn't wrong with him? Everything is wrong with this man, unfortunately. Hey, Dawn, nice to see you, boo. Happy Friday, and good morning to you too, Ashley. Happy Friday, girl. Very Kinky says she needs to leave before he loves her to death. Oof, very, very scary stuff, and I agree. Listen, this type of stuff is very scary. If you have anybody um, in your circle or whatnot, like who has like a crazy like boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever that like acts like this, please do whatever you can to, you know, to help them realize that this could be deadly. Like it's really, really scary what's happening here, and I'm really nervous about how this will end. It's been going on for a really, really long time too. And finally, Tamara says, drugs and mental illness is a bad combination. Amen to that. Very, very bad combination. I hate to see this, you know, again, especially for the kids, you know, if AJ and Princess want to continue with this toxic dynamic, that's their business. But when you bring kids into, you know, this world and, you know, your relationship, you have to protect them as much as possible. You know, even if you really love this other toxic, messy person, like when you see them doing this sort of thing, right, and not caring about how it impacts the children and stuff, like you have to protect the children first. I don't think that Ray J is capable of being rational in this moment. I think he lost his mind quite a while ago, and now unfortunately it's up to Princess to do everything she can to get the kids away from him. You know, she should be fighting for emergency full custody, everything right at this very moment. Because you know that story that we did earlier in the week, or maybe it was last week, about how Meghan King lost custody of her kids because allegedly she brought her own ADHD medication and wanted it to be given to like one of her sons or something like that. Like, then she lost that custody, right? Temporarily. I feel like this whole gun situation is worse than that. And that Ray J should have already lost his custody based off of that, you know, and their arrest and everything like that. But I digress. Hopefully that's the news we'll be getting next week. You guys, thanks so much for joining me for another episode of The Morning Report. I had such a good time chatting with y'all. I hope you're still recovering nicely from your lovely Thanksgiving meals, and that you get to have a fantastic weekend as well. And I'm really looking forward to being back to chatting with you again on a Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard with more of the day's hottest stories. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time, you guys. Bye now.